Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Project GUHeat for giving us this opportunity to share with you our policy advocacy. So my task this afternoon is to share with you, what are the policy recommendations for the executive and legislative branch in terms of mitigating urban violence. So I'm also thankful that my presentation comes after the presentation of our City Planning and Development Office. I'm happy to actually hear the mitigation strategies that are incorporated in the Davao City Comprehensive Land Use Plan, which we also tried to participate during the workshops. So just to mention our organization, Interfacing Development Interventions for Sustainability, has been existing for 21 years now. We've been working for the protection and sustainable management of our life-sustaining watersheds in South Central Mindanao. So in terms of work, so we've been doing policy advocacy work, to respond to a lot of environmental issues and concerns that affect our watersheds, from the uplands to the lowlands, in South Central Mindanao. And then also we partner with a lot of organizations and networks in doing our advocacy work. We also promote replicable practices like green living and other sustainable practices that can, in a way, can be replicated or uh, promoted or adopted by everyone who also want to contribute to make this city and South Central Mindanao more livable. So taking off from the strategies recommended by Project GUHeat. So these are the strategies that um, recommended by the Project GUHeat. Some of the strategies, so like the planting of trees and increasing the vegetation, developing better roof designs, incorporating cool pavements, and reducing anthropogenic heat release. So these are very good recommendations. And we in IDIS believe that in terms of developing, enacting, and implementing strategies, we can really develop policies. Policies. We can really develop and implement policies linked to this. Actually, there are already implementing environmental policies that some of it were already mentioned by Sir Ivan earlier. So just to run through what are the possible or what are the existing policies at the same time, what are other policies that can be enacted in Davao City and in other cities and provinces, neighboring cities and provinces in Davao region. So for the first strategy, so the first strategy focuses on planting trees and increasing vegetation. So we in IDs really believe that cities like Davao should enact and implement policies that will proactively increase urban greeneries, green spaces, nature parks, and community gardens, in the urban areas. But it's at the same time also considering also the upland areas. If we are to talk about the watershed approach of uh, mitigating urban heat island effects. So Sir Ivan earlier already mentioned that there's a ongoing updating of the Comprehensive Land Use Plan, the 2013 to 2022 Comprehensive Land Use Plan of Davao City. And while it is pending at the City Council for approval at the City Council, we at EDs continue to advocate for the full implementation of the provisions of the Comprehensive Land Use Plan and the Zoning Ordinance of Davao City. I just would like to mention also that IDs fully support the proposal to increase the 10% to 15% additional green space requirement for every land development. Um, I, we believe that while Davao City has all the resources, financial resources to really uh, continue with its development direction, we also believe that they should be really be coupled with ensuring that there's enough or to also enhance the greeneries in the urban areas. So we fully support this proposal to increase from 10% to 15%. So for every land development, there should be additional green space requirement. But of course, um, considering the existing policy, the 10% green space policy, we are also pushing that the city will also monitor if this current policy is being implemented. If greeneries in the urban areas are really enhanced with this 10% policy, and at the same time approve the additional 10, the additional 15% additional green space requirement. And of course, Sir Ivan also mentioned earlier the identification or the increase of areas that will be declared as urban ecological enhancement subzones in Davao City. So we already have the Matinas Rhine Hills that has been declared as UEESZ, but at the same time, we're also expecting that the LGU will also implement the massive greening projects and also uh, engage the land developers and landowners in Matinas Rhine Hills to really to realize the target of increasing or maximizing Matinas Rhine Hills as an urban ecological enhancement subzone. So there are already important provisions in the comprehensive land use plan and zoning ordinance of Davao City in terms of protecting and massive rehabilitation of its watersheds, forest and forest land use. So forest lands, I mean, so we are really hoping that the provisions, whether in the 2013 to 2022 CLUP um, and the new CLUP, we are hoping that the provisions pertaining to the protection and rehabilitation of watersheds, forests, and forest lands will be fully implemented. So that's one. So basically, of course, we all know that the comprehensive land use plan is the guide of every LGU in ensuring that its development direction is balanced or in line. It's also ensuring ecological sustainability. So that's one. Second, we already have the Parks Management Ordinance of Davao City. So we are hoping that with the passage of the amended Parks Management Ordinance or Code in 2019, uh, provisions like establishment of barangay and school tree parks and gardens will really be realized. The implementation of adopt a park, green spaces, streetscapes, islands, and park connectors. So in the presentations earlier, the importance of greeneries in the urban areas was really emphasized. So we are hoping that this will be really implemented. The ordinance will be really be implemented, and we will see more green spaces, more green streetscapes, islands, park connectors, and so on in Davao City. So another policy, this is a policy recommendation for the legislative. We're hoping that the city will pay attention to the remaining wetlands in the city and will enact the Wetlands Protection and Management Ordinance. So in the passage of this ordinance, there should be assessment, mapping, and declaration of existing wetlands as local conservation zones for massive greening, rehabilitation, and maintenance. And then another one is the Heritage Tree Ordinance. So in other cities and countries like Singapore, they have this ordinance that all the cities with at least a diameter of 1 meter should be protected. Hindi dapat ikat, but should be regularly monitored, i-prune kung kinakailangan. But we need this. The Build program and the ongoing implementation of infrastructure development or projects in Davao City has affected the remaining trees and greeneries in the urban areas. So we believe that the Heritage Tree Ordinance will help protect the trees, the remaining trees in the urban areas. So at the same time, there was also this proposed Arbor Day Ordinance. The Arbor Day is celebrated every June 25 of each year, but we believe that this should not be a one-day activity. Uh, uh, Together with this ordinance is the identification of areas for tree growing, which should be maintained by those who will be involved in the annual tree planting and growing activities, including the schools, the other organizations of public and private sectors and organizations. So that's the existing policies and proposed policies for mitigation strategy number one. For the second strategy, developing better roof design. So we have this existing ordinances that we believe will also help in mitigating urban heat island effect, but only if will be fully implemented. So we have this green building ordinance, the adoption of sustainable features and measures in the design, construction, and operation of the building. And of course, there should be an integration of the establishment of roof gardens, vertical gardens, and greenings. So this is very important for the existing buildings and also for the new buildings. No? And second is the full implementation of the rainwater harvesting ordinance. When we develop the green roof or green building or green roofing, we have to make sure that there's enough drainage system that is in place. And at the same time, we also have to make sure that we have a source of water for watering our gardens and other greeneries in our roof. So we believe that there's this existing rainwater harvesting ordinance of 2009, which should be fully implemented so we can have alternative source of water for our roof gardens and so on and other uses. For strategy number three, incorporating cool pavements. Um, so there's a newly passed ordinance, the Permeable Pavement System Ordinance in Davao City, which mandates all land developers to ensure that parking space, walkways, and other open areas should use or install permeable pavements. So we already have this. So this is actually a result of the study conducted by EDs, and we already have this ordinance, and we are lobbying that this ordinance will be fully implemented. So not just an encouragement, but hopefully this will really be required that all um, areas that will be developed will have permeable pavement system or will adopt this system. The second is the enactment of Sustainable Urban Drainage System Ordinance. So this promotes natural runoff and percolation, provide areas to store water in natural contours, and allow water to infiltrate into the ground or evaporate from surface water and transpire from vegetation. So we are hoping that in areas that will be developed in the future, the sustainable urban drainage system will be adopted. Hence, to be adopted, kailangan siya ding mapasa as an ordinance. So the last strategy is, of course, reducing anthropogenic heat release. So we already have this existing ordinances in Davao City. That, of course, for implementation, the executive branch, we are hoping that will pay attention. We'll really make sure that this will be implemented. So we are promoting the sustainable transportation in Davao City. We already have the bicycle ordinance of 2009, and we are happy that this pandemic also helped us push for the establishment of bike lanes, but we also have to make sure that the biker safety and so on. So we need to really fully implement this ordinance. We continue to promote walking, cycling, transit, carpooling, car sharing as part of sustainable transportation advocacy. And we are hoping that as Davao City will continue to develop, the roads and highways will be developed or will be improved in such a way that we are going to use it, or we will improve its walkability and bikeability. Second is, of course, the enactment of renewable energy ordinance. We should not allow to have more coal-fired power plants in Davao City. So there's a need to conduct energy audit and promotion of energy efficient technologies, and of course, preference on renewable energy sources. The Green Building Code, we already have that. It's part actually of reducing heat release if we want to lessen the carbon emission and other energy to become more energy efficient and so on. So we need to fully implement this. And of course, we continue to advocate for sustainable lifestyle ordinance. I mean, sustainable lifestyle in Davao City. We're hoping that we have these Lunha Awards, the Green Awards that is now adopted by the LG will be finally will be there's an ordinance that will be passed to really adopt this, to continue this. This will hopefully promote sustainable and healthy lifestyle for every Davaoenos, practice of 4 hours, no? Zero waste lifestyle, so we don't need to have the waste to energy project na in Davao City. And of course, the green and healthy living. So those are the existing and proposed policies in response to the mitigating strategies on urban heat island effect in Davao City. So that's all. Thank you very much.